Continuing on with Ultra Mega Mega Chapter 7, we've got 7.12, which is two parts. The first part is the idea of command line arguments, and the second part is the idea of variable length argument lists. This is what I'll tell you about command line arguments. We're going to ignore it. Is it true that here in the command line, so like legitimately in the command line, we would have to compile our .java project using javac in the command line. Then we would have to run the executable, and we would be able to put in arguments. And those arguments would be, how does this work? And we would get output. Yay? Question mark. Frankly, the real story here is you will, if not never, probably never, and if not never or probably never, most of you will never see command line arguments for anything, because it's just not the way that, number one, we use Java in the modern setting, and number two, the way that it makes sense to deploy Java in a business setting is having an operator someplace that doesn't have an interaction with some sort of user interface that just enters things. It's just not, it's not modern, it's not normal, and it's not something that you're going to do. So rather, we will focus here on variable length argument lists. Now, these are called in the biz VARargs because either number one, Java developers love pirates, or number two, this is America and nobody can say variable length argument lists. We have to say VARarg. And here I will tell you this is on page 469. What I can tell you, the idea here the idea here about VARargs is that, hey, what if we could build a class? And what if that class didn't have to know how many arguments it was being passed? That would be pretty great, wouldn't it? Sure, I guess so. And we can see that here, what that would look like on page 470. What I can tell you is, when you build your function, here inside of the argument parameters list is where you would see that change. So you'll see int ... numbers. What this is going to suggest to Java is that, hey, look, you should expect integers coming, and I want you to refer to those integers as numbers. And you can see here inside of the function itself, I'm actually using an enhanced for loop with int val : numbers. So what this is really doing is you are relying on Java to create for you an array called numbers. And what we're going to do is iterate through that array to get some work done here. So what we're going to do is switch over to Replit to see how this would look.